Alex Answer here in Southern Colorado. I'm going to be speaking with you today about the importance of backing up your YouTube channel. Really, the question is, where should I start? Because there are dozens to perhaps hundreds of reasons. Here are some of the things that are coming to mind the strongest for me at the moment of recording. There's a lot of hacking going on right now. There's a lot of threats of hacking, but in the last couple of days to weeks, we've seen major reports involving hacking of all data, all personal data of federal employees. Now, YouTube is a place where a lot of people share alternative media, independent media, information. That's a place where things can be shared that won't normally be seen elsewhere. It's not the only video sharing site out there, but it is the most popular. And that's not going away tomorrow. But there is danger of assuming that this will always be around because it's so popular, because of all the money involved in it. Even if you have a lot of views, even if you have views, 100,000, 1 million, but ultimately the money is already there from other corporations. And things are going in the favor of those larger corporations on YouTube as well as the rest of the world. So don't think that this massive YouTube server that will allow you today to upload something that has, just outrageous links, 16 hours, 24 hours, massive server space, massive file size. Don't let this give you a false sense of confidence in your material remaining on YouTube. Now, we've seen the death of Google Video. We've seen the death of MySpace. We have seen these things come to pass already. And those were both mediums that were doing very, 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 very well. And a lot of things have come to pass. And both of those things they're just in our memory. Google Video only exists in our memory. Thank God I had a updated email and I got the memo. Hey, you want to keep your Google videos? Transfer them now to YouTube or see them disappeared forever. And they have. You could see old videos where people have embedded to Google Video in the past. Those videos are no longer there. How many of you missed that memo? Well, there's something called Blip TV that scrubbed itself of its content a couple of years ago. I tried to get some of that content last year. I realized at that point I missed it by a month. I didn't get the memo. They did not have my updated email. All my videos were gone. Don't let the fact that they have linked YouTube to Gmail by force, that'll make you more suspicious than, ooh, what a convenience. I mean, you may be able to get your updates more easily than ever before now with that link. But look at Google+. How well does it actually function? Sure, there's a certain amount of people on Google+, but as a social media platform, knowing that the technology is far superior to what we're seeing, it's like the social media spectrum has been dumbed down. Now, I'm going to keep using YouTube, but I just backed up my YouTube channel because for a while I've been having a feeling that something is going to happen. How long have I had this feeling? And just because it hasn't happened in the time period of me thinking about it, it doesn't mean that it's not on the way. But I'd say 3 to 4 years. That's me being concerned about this event, some sort of a false flag. They could blame it on a certain group, maybe blame it on Anonymous, or have Anonymous, a CIA front group, come out, call themselves Anonymous. Ooh, we took down YouTube. I mean, you're reading reports now about governments being hacked, about banks being hacked, and we're talking about governments and banks that are more powerful than YouTube. Now, YouTube is the website where all this information is being hosted that people think is just going to be there forever because Google's so powerful. Right, you mean the same Google that is designing its own robots that later on could be used for war. I know a lot of this seems a little Hollywood, discussions of Skynet, discussions of artificial intelligence. I apologize if any of this is getting too close to home, but I believe we're witnessing something very real being built up around us in this grid, in this Google grid, this YouTube grid. Google's talking about these future cities. And ultimately, not to spend too much time on this, I talk a lot about the coming plans for World War III in my other videos. The transhumanistic reality that they want to push onto us is going to follow this wartime scenario, is going to follow this World War III scenario. The rebuilding of civilization, the Google cars that drive themselves. I think when they destroy the old technology or the old infrastructure, we'll see something anew being built. Order out of chaos. Oh, do you think YouTube, as it is right now, is going to be around in the same way that it is now? There's changes coming to YouTube all the time. I guess they're going to create a tier system where, you can pay a little bit and avoid the ads. I think there are probably more serious things to be aware of in relation to YouTube than that particular development. But overall, to bring this into another important area of conversation, AdSense has gone down for quite a few people from what I've gathered. I've never really made much from AdSense, but I'm at a few hundred a month, okay? I see fluctuations there up and down when I put up content, and right now I'm having kind of, I don't want to say a religious moment, I'm having a very different stream of consciousness that I'm working with as to where I host my future content, and I'm thinking about getting more serious with this. Now when I redo AATV and relaunch a few other websites, I want to host future videos and documentaries on other platforms. I'm working on my first official documentary at the moment. I'm about to start. I'm collecting music, hence the last video I'm looking for volunteer composers, animators. A lot of this, though, I'm going to be doing on my own, and I will put it on YouTube, and I'd like to see it get 1 million views. Anything you put on YouTube, it's right up there at the top of the page on Google. There's nothing wrong with using YouTube. It's the dependency. And so I want to pull back my own dependency, and I want to encourage people to listen to Outside the Box TV or listen to this YouTube channel that have an outside the box perspective on things, that we've got to think far outside the box of this Google control grid. To bring this down to our main topic, back up your YouTube channel. Encourage others to back up their YouTube channel. Do not let this false sense of security, this talk of unlimited space, convince you into thinking that it's always going to be this way. Google Video, too, they had unlimited space for a while. Oh, yeah, upload videos at full quality, full length. It was really a matter of time before it was gone forever. Now, yes, there's a lot of businesses that are dependent on YouTube for making an income. There are whole-on businesses, video production companies that make their money from YouTube primarily, that get attention from YouTube, businesses that get noticed from the videos they promote on YouTube. In this day and age of social media, you're doing business, have a YouTube channel, promote your products. A lot of people in business don't get it these days. Use YouTube wisely. Use the force wisely. But don't get burnt by the force as you use it. Understand, force comes and goes. Energy comes and goes. Everything is in a state of change. So in the moment, in this particular moment in time, we use YouTube to get out a message. I'm using YouTube to share with you this message. I'm using Facebook. And a few of you will see this. If it were a couple years ago, a lot more of you will see this. They've changed the algorithm in the meantime. Even though some people are doing good, other people, they're hearing from their audience that their content is not being seen. And even though I'm not a big fan of We Are Change New York, for a lot of obvious reasons, but the content's good to a degree. And the overall participation in activism today and shine the light on important issues. But even We Are Change has put out a video reporting AdSense fraud and issues with their audience base, being able to see their videos and content, be it on Facebook or YouTube. And I've had people report to me, Alex, we don't see your content unless we actually click on your name. One person was saying none of my things were showing up since March, and another person was saying he thought I turned my comments off. Okay, so here's what we see. We see glitches with YouTube with accounts being set to 0. It happened the other day. Then supposedly they fixed it. It happened across the board. There are people that are not able to see other people's content, including me. I have to go and I'm clicking on certain people's content more than once. So when they subscribe or when they put up a video, when I go click on my subscriptions, I want to see their video. I want to see AMTV's latest video. I want to see the latest video from this particular company. I don't want to be all pointed towards one direction. You know what YouTube wants you looking at, though, if you click a few videos? Same thing with Facebook. They want you focused on the mainstream media. They want you focused on, they'll throw you disinformation news. And even though RT puts out some good stuff, you know, when I share a few RT links, all of a sudden the Google algorithm thinks I want all RT all the time. And I see how RT puts out good headlines, but man, they got a major deception. They're getting a lot of people's trust just like YouTube. Look at our version of reality. It may seem accurate now. Just wait, though. It's already starting to look more perverted, as they, like the mainstream media, promote the ISIS threats. German kickboxer joins ISIS. You know, and other bits of distortion, other bits of flair, sensationalism. Any way they can also demonize the United States, and any way they can make Russia and China look like gods. Gods. Gods on earth that the people want to get down and just fellatio. This language may be a bit strong for some of you that actually see a difference between these superstate nation career criminal mafia groups, but I do not. And so I'm seeing Google, YouTube, the beast, play its role in what you see and what you don't see. Oh, you like conspiracy theory. Oh, you think you're awake. Here's some fecal matter put into a YouTube video, fake news with 500,000 views. Maybe a few million. Watch that and get your fear porn on. Get your fix on. Get your adrenaline running. Ooh, it looks true. Oh, it must be. This is what I'm seeing. They don't need to necessarily censor everything, just pollute the internet with disinformation. From the EU Times, from Social Fall, beforeitsnews.com. 80 to 90% of the news on beforeitsnews.com is totally fake. And I've looked at the front page of that website several times. Stay away from it. There are the other websites that I don't mention because it's not even worth it, that used to put out great content years ago. Certain hosts that used to have a stronger stage presence, ability to connect with the people, speak from the heart. I've seen certain hosts out there almost metamorphosized into pure monsters that appear more and more to be working for some form of spirit of deception. Whether we can prove it or not, it just feels like there's something not quite right with some of these folks out there. Yet, no one's censoring them, and they're at the top. They own YouTube, and they help make YouTube, if you really think about it. So there's like, if you look at media, money, business, you see Jesse Ventura, you see others that I don't need to get into, including an old friend back in Portland who's on the air 5 nights a week. Notice the content that they're putting out. It's so extreme. It's so sensational that it is so profitable. And so on one level, yes, you know, YouTube's making money off of all this hysteria. It's this huge business model and all that goes with it. And the types of ads, grocery stores, fear this man, comes the pop-up. Obama, do you like him or not like him? Israel or Obama, pick one. Do you want toxic Coke or toxic Pepsi? Here's the Zionist flag of Israel. Look at it. Look at it again. Here's a few boobies and all the other weird advertisements that you see on the front page of YouTube. Demonic. Subliminal. Here, look at this. XX, dark, VVV. Pyramid, pyramid, pyramid. Blood, sacrifice, booty, booty, booty. Titty, titty, titty. Look over here, squirrel. So where is YouTube going? Back up your YouTube channel. Back up your YouTube channel. Back up your YouTube channel. You can go, how do I back up my YouTube channel? And see a pretty decent video from a guy talking about this stuff. Talking about how to back up your YouTube channel on YouTube. You can go into Google and click download archive. It'll take you about, it depends on how much content you have. For me, it took about 2 days. I just downloaded and completed a download of 378 gigs. 378 gigs of content. Since my first upload, in 2006. I started my Access show in November of 2004, did a few pilots, turned into a few tapes in Portland relating to 9/11, the New World Order, the Surveillance Society, the police state. I put out some content made by others to share with the Portland audience on the medium of cable access TV. This is a couple years before YouTube. Once YouTube came out, I will say this, and I feel a need to continue discussing this topic because there's more I have to say. I'm not just going to force this video to be a short video. Those that have the patience to hear the things that I'm saying will accrue the knowledge, will hear the perspective, will perhaps have that light bulb go off above their head, because many of you have had similar thoughts yourself. And it's good for us to share that we have had similar thoughts and similar concerns. And it's not good that we're seeing these stories of hacking in the news, but regardless of whether or not you think the US government's behind it or the government of China, does it really matter? When you know that the US and China are working together in this new world order, and they have a common enemy, and that is freedom. Some people don't know that this is really what's happening. Some people think there's, it's an East versus West thing. Don't sweat it. It's just a CIA scaremonger thing. They won't take down YouTube because YouTube is so damn profitable for those advertisers. Don't kid yourself. Don't inflaunt your own ego, Mr. 100,000 views. I don't care if you're Mark Dice and you are having your 15 minutes of your 15 minutes cream of the crop as that dude now goes viral. That jagoff now goes viral. You see the way he talks to people in the research community? You see the way he treats people? You see the videos he makes about other people that are also on the quest towards truth? His audience base is an audience base of douchebags. And how many douchebags are alive today on the planet running around? And how many of those douchebags may at one point or another came across conspiracy research? How many douchebags are in the conspiracy research community that don't give a damn about you and actually providing you with information that betters your soul? Because some of these folks don't believe in a soul. They believe in civil war, though. They believe in conflict. They believe in us versus them. And some of them make the New World Order more out to be a boogeyman than something that we can actually do something about. And so Mark Dice and others, they play into the commercial model that's been provided to them. Some of them are incredibly talented. What you're not hearing is a hater. What you're hearing is a true media critic, as Mark Dice would also describe himself. And so overall, this is far beyond him and others. There is a model out there that works really, really well dealing with sensationalism and dealing with being able to get a video to go viral based on what's trending at the moment. Not whether that is important information, not whether that information actually helps the world be a better place. It's people clicking on that, and there are certain factors that lead to people getting the click through the recommended video. Meanwhile, other people out there could put out content for years and years and years and never break through to, quote unquote, the masses because they're not in the viral tier. I'll tell you what, though, sometimes it's good to not be at the top because of seeing what it's done to others, the attention, the fame. I think it's dangerous to have all the world's riches and to have massive audiences that will just throw themselves at you, and offer to fan you and feed you with grapes. And no matter what you say or do to others, it's okay because you're big. See, this alpha male psychology that actually has led to the New World Order can clearly be seen, can clearly be noticed all throughout the world right now with these conspiracy research analysts and authors that are on the more sensational end of things that have made themselves these giant heaps in the last decade since 9/11. Now, some of these people may have been mature enough to back up their own YouTube channel. Maybe they can afford a hard drive or a computer. Some people, though, like me and others, procrastinate, although I have got myself a hard drive now and I've backed it up. A lot of people have not backed up their content. They're thinking that, things are doing so well, that the view counts are doing so well, that this is the new media. They're kicking the New World Order's butt, even though Google and YouTube are the New World Order. Somehow, this hysteria that we're beating the New World Order with the New World Order's technology, it is a false sense of security. It is a false sense of revolution. Just like the idea of having a revolution on Facebook. Oh, we're winning. Yeah, we really won. We really won. We all got to pay rent for something, most of us, that we won't even own. Unless you're listening from off the grid somewhere, and if so, I salute you. Especially if you're female and you've been able to pull yourself away from sucking off the tit of the system and of the state. Hats off to you for living in freedom in a world where very few men and women are actually living in freedom and actually making the sacrifices and actually willing to live with less. Hats off to you. You are an example for others. But the fact of the matter is, most people aren't doing that. They're thinking that this is winning, where we sit here in front of our computer and we blast out a post and we see people on the New World Order social media share it. And what they've done is they've got us to confuse our Facebook accounts. They've got us to confuse our YouTube accounts with a revolution. Now there is awareness, but there's always the potential for awareness to grow. There's always the potential for a teacher to emerge in a community, to emerge in a climate, to emerge in a world and teach those things, share that knowledge. And we've had this ability since the dawn of time. If they get us all on the YouTube crack pipe, and more as time goes on, and we're not doing anything in regular society, then they've got our whole perception of a false revolution into a box corner of the internet. And as they start to control the internet, as they start to create new algorithms where all of a sudden you don't see your friends' posts anymore on YouTube or Facebook, I would say that their little card trick to control this awakening has succeeded. The major real awakening that you need to be concerned with, in addition to political, is your own individual shift in consciousness. Your own spiritual awakening is what you're doing here on this matrix. There is a potential for a massive cyber attack that could wipe out these social media networks and literally disconnect people from each other. It's not just about alternative media content, it's about your network of friends changing. They've already started doing things with Facebook, for example, where you got to show your ID to actually log into Facebook, and people say, well, I'm ready for that. Well, when you're ready for that, when you're ready to leave social media, you should leave social media and not let, some glitch in the system or attempt to control you direct whether or not you're going to be on Facebook. You should only be on Facebook and or YouTube whether or not you want to, not, okay, you'll find something new, a new toy or a new login once they change your account. Understand these are all signs of major problems that we could be facing later on. Not only with social media websites like YouTube and Facebook, like we've seen with Google Video and MySpace, both had their kneecaps blown off with shotguns, with shotgun blasts. Just like that. And you weren't even liking it. And most of you weren't even ready for it. And they brought out Facebook and YouTube with a big old lollipop, and they said, come over here and suck on this. Come over here and suck on it. And they put a lot of candy and honey on it, and they got a nation of crack pipe crackheads, just YouTube heads. And some people are making six figures, and they have been given a false sense of security through all this mess. It's a deception, and it is a trap. Going back to this main topic of backing up your YouTube channel and letting me close here before 30 minutes. Back up your YouTube channel. It took me 2 days to back up 378 gigs. It took me 1 hour for it to compile 181 individual folders. And I had to click on each one and make sure that each one went through and double check. And now that I've done that and I have moved things over to my hard drive, I feel so much better. When you download your archive, you have 1 week to download it. If not, you have to click Get Archive again. When I saw those view counts get set to 0 the other day this week and Googled and found out that it happened across the board, I decided right there and then that I would back up my channel. And the other reason I'm backing up my channel is I'm going to make a documentary film that is going to kind of detail the conspiracy to take us to a World War III scenario. And it is more of a conspiracy when you realize that China and the United States are very much connected at the hip. A lot of backdoor dealings. And a lot of this we can prove. If I start attracting a certain amount of attention from that video, I would consider the whole channel at risk. Now, I would be happy to see this channel live another 10 years, but I'm not holding my breath at that. I'm going to guess that the next 3 to 4 years are probably the most likely. It's a period of time that I think it's very possible that this could happen, but there's no guarantee. So back up anyways. It's only because I have lost things already by accident, by computers failing, that I'm making this backup. But let me know down in the comment section, what percentage of the population do you think has backed up their YouTube channel? And what percent of the population do you think has not? So who has and who has not backed up their YouTube channel? Do you think that YouTube is just going to be this free flow of information where anything can be put out there about martial law drills and what's going on to a certain extent? Or do you see something coming in the near future? Anyways, let me know your thoughts. And hopefully this video got people thinking about a few things.